Welcome to another episode of the Quimby Chronicles Momcast. I'm Shantae.
And I'm Tracy, and today we have a special guest. We have Sean in the building. Our very first guest on the podcast. Thank you for joining us, Sean. Very excited to have you here. So today we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about classes or things that you've learned in life that you thought were stupid when you were doing it, and now you still feel like they're stupid. And number two is going to be classes or things that you've learned that you like, dang, why didn't I learn this sooner? Or why didn't I learn more of this? So, are you ready, Sean?
Man, I'm always ready.
All right. Are y'all ready out there? I know y'all ready. You ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready. So, we're going to do this. So, we'll start with Sean since he's our honored and esteemed guest today. We'll start with Sean. So, Sean, what's one class that you've taken or one thing that you've learned in life that you feel like, why do I even have to do this?
Well, for me, it's always been kind of English, cause I mean they be, excuse me, they be kind of what are you even learning for real? I mean, I understand, you know what I'm saying, you have to learn how to write letters, how to write formally and stuff. I understand that part, but I don't understand the whole meaning behind English.
Right.
It's like, what are you even learning for except having to write or read? It's always just been a struggle for me.
Right.
Even in younger years.
Yeah. So you don't feel like that's something that you're going to use in whatever your career path is going to be?
At all.
All right. Well, thank you. All right, Dave. So what about you? What's one thing that you feel that you've learned or the knowledge that you have that you like, why do I even know this? Why did I have to learn this?
I would definitely say it's marine biology. When I tell you that class was going to be the death of me. That class was the reason that I didn't graduate with honors. The teacher and I just had this sort of unspoken beef. I don't even know, well, I know why we had beef, but it didn't really have anything to do with me for real. I did collateral damage, but you know what? We digress. That class, when I tell you I failed every single test that I took in that class, I even saw pictures of it the other day talking about 13 out of 50, 12 out of 57, and I'm like, I don't get it. It doesn't matter how many times I read it, look at it, I can say it out loud 500 times. I did not retain any information in that class. And then as soon as the test came, it was 7 times harder from the notes that we were taking. And I'm a great note taker. I've always been such a good note taker, but that class, no. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna hate that class forever because I ended with a 3.9 GPA that class. I could have had honors. No. And there were issues about exempting the exam, which I was gonna fail regardless because look at all those tests. I was gonna fail the exam anyway. But you know what? I ended up talking to my guidance counselor and I exempted it anyway. Once again, we digress. I hated that class with every I don't even know, every bit of my existence. I hated that class. It took everything in me to show up to that day because I honestly would have just risked getting in trouble because I couldn't switch out of the class because she told me no. So I just had to sit there and just suffer for that whole semester. You know, it's okay. It's not water under the bridge, but it's okay. It is okay.
It's a work in progress.
Yes, we're still working on not being angry about that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna have my little white sash, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So one subject area for me that I feel like, why did I even have to do it? And I mean, I get that it was just a natural progression of classes for me in, the track that I was on or whatever. But chemistry, statistics, and physics. I am not a chemist. I am not a physicist. And I'm not a statistician. So why in the world do I have to take those classes? Now, don't get me wrong, the chemistry, I understood it. I made my grades and I went on about my business. Physics, I did not understand it at all. I made good grades somehow, because for me it was the math part that got me through. Because honey, all this other stuff, number one, they got a whole bunch of word problems. And then you got to use a formula to figure out another formula, and then you got to plug it back into the original. Ain't nobody got time for that. And who in the real world does that? Like, for real. I mean,
yet to come across
there probably are people that do, but I knew I wasn't going to be one of them. Okay, so I feel like I shouldn't have had to take any of those classes: statistics, physics, and chemistry. And I mean, yeah, that was a long time ago, but whatever. Still, I have that knowledge in my head because why? Why proton, electron, and neutron? For what? How does that help me other than helping my kids with their homework? Like,
She definitely came in handy though, because physics whooped me. Because if you know about my physics teacher. I knew more about Spider-Man than I did about actual physics. But you know what? I actually get a B on that exam without the curve.
But that's because he agreed and he felt like you didn't need physics. He felt like knowledge of Marvel movies would have been more.
Felt like I didn't need physics. He should have his job. Because what was he there for? What was he there for? And that's another teacher that sat and picked on me for no reason. For what? I'm mad because I don't understand. I'm mad that I don't understand too. We're in the same boat. We're supposed to be fighting the same fight. What are we doing? Okay.
Right. All right. So, touch the nerve. All right. So, let's go.
Don't get me started on chemistry.
Look, this is gonna wrap that up because some is getting a little testy.
I'm still a little spicy about that one.
I see. All right, Sean. So, next question: what is one thing that you wish you would have learned in school, or either that or something that, like a class you took or something that you absolutely love and you like, why can't I take this all the time?
Right. Number one, something I wish I could could have learned, because they stopped doing cursive, and I felt that's gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, signing stuff and
Right.
and all that, and just instead of you know what I'm saying, keeping it boring and doing your regular name.
Yeah.
But they don't teach that no more, so I kind of had to learn how to write my own name in cursive or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that would have been a better class to really learn from. And a class that I really liked was driver's ed, because it was very informative, and it showed like why you should be careful, or these reasons, and it was very helpful, especially coming into life, because you know what I'm saying, everybody is different on the roads, so it's just, you got to be careful of that, and it's really just eye-opening every time you just get on the road, and just making sure everything's safe and sound.
I did not think that's what you was gonna say. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised by what you said, but I did not think that's what you were gonna say. But wow, I mean, it makes sense because you learn all those rules in driver's ed, and those are things that, like for me, I don't always remember all those rules, So, because a lot of them you never even encounter in your life. Some of those road signs, you'll never see them in life. Well, I mean, I guess if you do a lot of traveling, but for the most part, a lot of those situations, like the parking on the hill, it's not something we would necessarily encounter here, in Florida. So, that's the thing. It gives you this wide knowledge base. So you kind of, you may not know how to do something, but you have that concept, or you've heard it before, so it's not like it's foreign. So wow, I would have never thought both of those things. I would have never thought the cursive and driver's ed, but those are good ones. Those are good ones.
That definitely is, because I know how to read it, but I sure can't write it.
Yeah, I forgot about cursive because I learned cursive. I think I was learning cursive. We started learning cursive in like 3rd grade.
That's people learn it.
Yeah,
around 3rd grade.
That's crazy. But thank you. I love it. I love your answers.
Thank you.
Hey.
So this is The class that I loved then, still love now.
Or something that you wish you would have learned, you would have been able to learn.
Oh, I would say home economics. On top of how they teach regular economics now, I feel like that could be a major improvement because, yes, taking economics is a high school graduation requirement, but you have to have a good teacher that's actually teaching you and not just giving you the answers, because then you're not going to know what you're doing in the real world. Which I did get lucky because at the end of the semester that I had economics, I had a 1,000 point project that was basically like, oh, you make this much money a month. Now you need to go out and you're living on your own, which I was thankful for because it definitely did open up my eyes. I was like, whoa, like it's a little expensive out here. This is no joke. Because I knew life was expensive, but like sitting there crunching all those numbers, and I have like $12 to my name at the end of every month. I'm like, oh, what are we doing right now?
Yeah.
And for home economics, that's when they're teaching you cooking, baking, and sewing. Those are good life skills also to have this day, because especially there's a lot of people that I went to high school with now that have like 2 and 3 kids and live on their own, and there's still some of them that don't know how to cook, don't know how to bake, don't know how to sew, which, I mean, you probably should know how to do that if you're living on your own with kids. But not everyone has sewing you can get away with, but not everyone has, like grows up learning it from their parent or whatever. Right. So that's definitely something that I feel like they shouldn't have taken out of school, because not everyone has that opportunity growing up learning how to do it in their home. So if they're not in their home, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna keep pushing off learning how to do it as they get older, because you keep getting older, you're gonna want to do it less and less. So you're just gonna keep pushing it off, and you won't really ever know how to do it.
Right. And then on the flip side of that, though, from the parent perspective, just talking about not having the opportunity to have learned it from your parent. Sometimes, because I can tell you that me as a parent, I want to teach all my kids how to cook. But ain't nobody about to sit around with them with no attitude and their butt on their shoulders while I'm cooking because they mad because they got to be in there. That's your business, because I know how to cook and I can feed myself. So, the kids have to be receptive also. So, for my kids, if they don't know how to cook when they leave this house, it's because they didn't want to learn how to cook. Okay? It was their choice. I'm just going to put that out there. I ain't pointing no fingers at nobody. I'm just saying.
Listen, I know how to throw it down in the kitchen a little bit. Don't do it. Listen, because I'm already knowing. I know how to throw it down in the kitchen a little bit, so you can't even point no fingers or nothing.
So hey,
I can throw it down in the kitchen now.
Yeah,
They don't know about me.
We
now I'd say I don't like doing it, but if I need to, I can throw it down. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't call names. I'm just saying. I was just putting it out there.
I'm just telling my piece. I'm just telling my part. That's it.
Definitely know how to get
throw it down if I need to.
Yeah. Okay.
And the bacon's getting up there too. I don't know how to sew, but the cooking and baking is getting there. Yeah. I don't think
practice.
I'd rather just get a sewing machine and call it a day, honestly.
Yeah, all of it takes practice though. I have to answer. For me, a class that I wish, or material that I wish I would have learned, is about finance, about credit scores. I know Shantae had this class in high school that I had helped her with, and it showed you how to calculate like your car payment, your mortgage payment, these different types of interest and stuff like that. And that was super interesting. Oh, it was economic? No, I thought it was that other math class that you took online. Yes, it was. MCR? Yes, it was.
Calculating car payments? No?
Yes, it was.
I don't know, y'all. We're gonna have to go back and check that.
Yes, it was. I promise y'all, it was MCR.
I did struggle in that class, and I needed her help for like the second half of it. So if it was in that second half, then yeah, she got it. She got it. If it was in that second half, yeah, she ate that one out. She did.
So it was MCR. So I felt like, for me, when I was helping her with that, I was like, oh, boom, like, wow. just learning how all that stuff works, how interest rates are calculated, how they get, the numbers that they get and how many days they go off of, what your balance is. Like, it's very interesting to me because you get your bills and you just see, okay, you like, dang, I put $100 on here, but now my payment is 125. Like, what happened? Because you got your interest and you're like, but interest, but dang, like, how is it $25? But then it shows you how to calculate that whole thing. So I think it would have been beneficial even to introduce the subject matter. Would have benefited me personally. With my parents being immigrants, I mean, they learned everything they learned about credit, the hard way. So they didn't have that knowledge to be able to teach me, when I was coming up. I mean, of course, they taught me what they could or, what they knew or what have you. But same thing with me. What I learned, what I know about credit, what I know about finances, it's, the few things that my mom and dad did learn to teach me, and then, everything else is just trial by fire. You try that and like, oh, well, that doesn't work. Definitely trying to do better where my kids are concerned. But yeah, I wish that we were more immersed in the real world, like when you leave your parents' house, like what it's really like. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, when you in your parents' house, there's a lot you don't have to worry about. You don't gotta worry about no bills, for real, for real. And if I tell you gotta pay one, they usually don't. But whatever, it's neither here nor there. When you at your parents' house, you don't have to worry about nothing. You got a roof over your head, you got food, you got electricity, you got water. You go out there, so I just really wish, and yeah, they do the little thing where you care for the baby or whatever, but I just wish, like that Project Shantae had, the whole, I think, like whatever her grade was, that was how much your money was for the year, and hers was $35,000, and she was like, "Oh, yes." I'm like,
Mind you, I had a
no.
B in that class.
She
So
was
that 3,500,
excited.
I had a B in that
It
class.
was
That's what got me.
35,000 for the year. That's what it was.
It
35,000 for
went
the
for
year.
the whole year.
It was 35,000 for the year. You thought it was a lot, and I was like, "That's nothing."
That looked like big money to me at the time until I started racking it because rent,
Mm-hmm.
the car payment,
Right.
cell phone,
Yep.
internet, electricity,
Eating out,
food.
Yeah.
And then they would even throw scenarios in there like, "Oh, your mom broke her leg. She needs help paying her bill. $7,000 there." And I'm like,
Yeah.
who has $7,000 to give to their mom for her broken leg?
Yeah.
I had $12 in my name for real. Like, I was not trying to be funny. I really had like $12 to my name at the end of that.
But that is real life, and it actually got me thinking. I think I'm about to get me one of these old Monopoly games and get some money and give the kids money, and then they're gonna have to pay for everything with Monopoly.
I know that's right.
That will be very interesting. What you think, Sean?
I mean, when it really comes down to it, like if I really want to, I can save up my money, but I still want to have fun, and then it
Right.
costs things to actually have fun, and so it just kind of goes to waste. But
No. I'm not like shading you about,
right.
I'm saying like in the house to give y'all kind of the perspective of what it's really like when you go out here on your own.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a good lesson to really learn from.
I'm gonna have to try it.
Speaking of that, this reminds me of a TikTok that I saw. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. This lady, so you guys know, like how when you're younger in the neighborhood, you'll go and get your allowance, and you walk down the street to like the Candy Man or whatever you guys
shop
call
or whatever.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Corner store.
So
lady.
she
Candy
would go.
lady.
Yes, she would go to like Sam's or Costco or whatever and buy a bunch of snacks in bulk, and the kids can buy those snacks with their allowance. So it's snacks that are separate from the house. She has them out in the garage, turn the whole garage into this store like how you would with the Candy Lady or whatever you call them, and they would use their allowance to go and buy snacks from there as opposed to walking down the street and giving it to a stranger, then she uses that money that they paid to get those snacks to just go and get more snacks. So it just keeps recycling.
Yeah.
So they're basically like
neat.
paying and eating for their own snacks.
Right.
It's just a cycle of eating and paying for the snacks that they bought because
Right.
that money she's using it to go and buy more snacks.
Right. That's a good idea.
She had the whole garage turned into a store, like up on the shelves, and she had the coolers on the ground.
Oh, wow.
I gotta find it. It's probably in my watch history somewhere, but she had her thing set up in there. Because I would definitely would have went to her house and go get some snacks. I would have. She had some good stuff in there too.
I could not. But yeah, I mean, so life is life and spring is springing, but it is spring is springing. So today we talked about Sean not liking English because he don't see the point. Shantae cannot stand marine biology
or physics or chemistry.
Right. And I am upset at statistics, physics, and chemistry still to this day after all these. But, Sean wishes that he would have learned cursive, which I feel like it's a good skill to have. I mean, I like, whipping my little, whip my little stuff when I feel like it. Then you wish that you did home ec, and then I wish that we talked about credit or at least got a real snapshot into what adulthood is really like. I don't know. I was gonna say that had I had that snapshot that I probably, would have my life together now, but I probably still wouldn't, I might know a little bit more. I might know a little bit more, but I'll still be razzle dazzle. So there's that. So first of all, we want to thank Sean for joining us today. We really appreciate you joining us.
Of course.
Our chat. We thank you very much, and we would love to have you back whenever you want to come back.
I'll think about it.
Huh?
I'll think about it.
You'll think about it. Oh, you see how he doing? But we appreciate him. We love you, Sean. We appreciate you. So that's what we talked about today. I can't do it. That's what we talked about today.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Y'all in there for the minute. So our chat today, that's what it was about. See how they try to distract me? That's what it was about. And let us know in the comments, the classes that you took that you felt they were a waste of time then and you still know they're a waste of time now. Or, on the flip side, if there was something that you thought was a waste of time then and you ended up doing it. Huh? So yeah, so let us know if there's something that you or like me, I hated physics. Like if you hated physics and you grew up to be a physicist, please, that would be so interesting. So drop us a line, a comment. We're on the socials. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We still don't have a Facebook page. We have to make a Facebook page, but we're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. And then we're podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us and come chat with us every Monday, just like today. Okay. So thank you for chatting. And Shantae, you got anything to add? Sean, our esteemed guest, you have anything you want to add?
No, I do not. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Blessings.
You say blessings?
Blessings.
Okay.
Blessings.
Thank you. We need them.
All.
We need them. Oh, and then to our Quimby crew out there, thank you for chatting with us, and we will talk to you next week. Bye. Toodles!